friends, thank you so much for clicking this video. I'm glad to have you here. You're in for some fun because this is a drugstore shop my stash. That means I'm going into my collection. I'm pulling out things I haven't used in a while. We're gonna have some rediscoveries, just some happy moments in this video, no doubt. Got my bag full of everything I went for, and I will tell you, I've got a certain look in mind. Sometimes when I do these, it's just very like whatever happens, happens. As far as the eyes, I really have something certain that I'm going for. When I do one of these, by the way, it just like, I feel a need inside of me and it just has to happen. There's no other video I will be capable of shooting except drugstore shop my stash. Like when the idea is in and it's locked in, it's happening. And actually, when I had asked for some video requests on Instagram recently, I was surprised at the amount of people who are like, I love shop my stash videos. I love seeing drugstore stuff, whether it's brand new or older stuff. And I thought that's really great because I feel the same way. Yes. A kitten has joined us. I would also like to say I shoot these videos every Thursday. Hey, you. Biscuits is here. Love you. I shoot these videos every Thursday and I feel like Thursday is my new Monday. Thursday behaves like a Monday for me. I got up extra early today because I knew I was going to shop my stash. I was going to go through my drawers before the video started. I needed a little extra time. And I filled all of that extra time with looking for my right contact lens because I put it in. It didn't feel quite right. I thought maybe it's flipped. I don't know. Take it out. Falls off my finger. Where did it go? You know, the thing goes invisible for like, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes. I mean, I was really searching. And I always tell myself, lean over the sink when you do this, so if you drop your contact, it doesn't fall on the floor. Well, it was in the sink. Sometimes in life, the thing you're looking for is in the proper place, and you just expect it to be somewhere else. Also, I think I need new batteries for my lights because they're looking a bit dim. I'm really pumped for how I think this look is going to turn out. Squirrel mug engaged. So my skin is all prepped. I've got my skincare on, I've got my sunscreen on, and I'm going to use my Cookies and Dreams primer, which I haven't used in forever. This is from e.l.f. and oh, it smells good. And it's really creamy. And I remembered observing the fact that it seemed creamier than the original putty primer by a lot when I first tried it. So let's do that. It's going to give a little moisture, but it's going to smooth us out. I think the motivation gets even higher to do a drugstore shop my stash when I'm in the midst of holiday review time, because so many of the things that come out like around this time are high end. Like I will be looking for drugstore holiday products for sure, but I just feel like there's not as much and it doesn't come out as early. Okay, I've got this all over. It feels so smooth. My skin feels perfect, honestly. It feels nicely hydrated, but it feels soft as well. The foundation that I pulled out, friends, is good old Revlon Color Stay for normal to dry in the shade Fresh Beige. This is a good foundation. It's got a pump now, and I also dampened not one but 2 sponges. I dampened my e.l.f. Total Face sponge and my little Real Techniques sponge. So mini Real Techniques is the same shape as full-size Real Techniques, and this is the same size as full-size Real Techniques, but the texture of the e.l.f. Total Face sponge really mimics an actual beauty blender. That's why I prefer this over the Real Techniques, but I do like having that mini option. Did anybody follow that? Okay, kitten, must you? She likes to push open the door, and then I go back over here and I shut it most of the way because I know she can fit through. Now when it's wide open, I feel like my voice is carrying straight into my children's rooms. We're gonna work with a full pump of this. Your classic liquid foundation texture, you know. I've been using Fresh Beige since the dawn of my channel, except then I was using the combo to oily formula. Now I use normal to dry. Let's get it all. Okay. I'm gonna tap this in with this sponge. Working with a little dark circle action today because I was watching Handmaid's Tale last night. Latest episode is major, and Bub could only make it through half. Okay, that's fine. We'll watch it tonight. No, we won't. Bub's got some kind of a dinner to go to. It's fine, I can wait. So Revlon Color Stay, is it full coverage? Well, I do think it's somewhat buildable, but it's not just by default a full coverage foundation. It's giving strong medium coverage. I might add just a little bit more, yeah, because I really want it to be a pretty glam look. I haven't even told you what the plan is on the eyes yet, but it's gonna be good. Something I've been meaning to do for a while, but just haven't done, and today's the day, my friends. See, it built, but it's still medium coverage as far as I'm concerned. I feel it looks good. You know, perk me up, even me out. I'm going for some kind of two-pronged approach here, I guess, on concealer. I'm using Age Rewind, and then I'm going to top it with a little bit of the Bear With Me concealer. So this is my Age Rewind Brightener, which is just a great tool to have in the toolbox, you know. It's brightening, it's pinky toned. It really does a good job on its own. Apparently she wants to be cranked a few extra times today. So then, now's the time, bring in the mini. Bring in that mini blender all around. I'm so pumped for one of my future reviews pertaining to cream blush sets. Who would have thought, like a few years ago, we'd be in a place where I have multiple cream blush sets to be reviewing for the holidays. So I've been playing with several, and I just got a couple more in from Sephora, and I'm probably just gonna put them all in one video, which kind of stinks. The hard thing about blushes is like you can't really exhibit them all on one day, you know. I should probably take more pictures like I do, you know, very deliberate daily pictures of the eyeshadow looks so I have them on file. But I just don't always think to do that with the blush. So the brightener has been applied, and then I'm going to use a little bit of this, which I love this concealer. I think this is really good. I wear this Bear With Me concealer serum from NYX in Light. Fantastic concealer. Why don't I reach for it more? Got a little bit out, and it just like, it spreads. And I'm gonna use this in here. It's gonna look like, you're going way too far with this, but it's so thin. If you've tried it, you know. It's light. And then for some reason I feel like using big guy here, because I'm not really going to the depths of my cavern there. I'm doing more of this whole big plane in my face with the brightening of this. I don't know how this happened exactly, but you know, I have a son. His name is Rhett. Sometimes I have to remind myself that's his name. We've called him Bubba for a long time, but also he also gets called Ugga. Where did Ugga come from? I don't know. We've read a lot of Daniel Tiger, and they have that Ugga Mugga line, and I don't know. It's morphed into yet another nickname for him. And lately, he's taken to telling on himself when he does something. Like, if I let him watch a video because he's obsessed with mowers, blowers, and trimmers, that's going to be the theme of his little birthday this weekend. As close as I could get was like construction, but he loves diggers too, and excavators. He actually will call them excavators, skid steers. He can identify them all. And lately he's taken to telling on himself when stuff happens. Like if I let him watch a mowing video and then something happens, he'll be like, Ugga's touching the screen. Or my favorite is, Ugga's messing with the screen. Like, thanks, buddy. What else does he do like that? Ugga's dropping his food. But he'll also talk in the first person, but it's like when something happens, he'll tell on Ugga as though, I don't know, like it's not him. All right, look how bright and even. That's what I'm going for. I need a flawless complexion under this masterpiece of an eye look that's gonna happen. You shouldn't oversell it though. A couple different things powder-wise I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my Maybelline Fit Me, which really hasn't been super underused by me, but I couldn't find a drugstore loose under eye setting powder that hasn't been used by me lately. Once this puff came into my life, I have been going through all the powders with it just to see how my life will change, you know, with the use of this. It's been big for me. Okay, so I go into my fair shade of this. Am I putting on a healthy amount? Yes, I am. Don't worry about it. I'm going to dust away some excess, and it's just going to be bright and flawless, okay? I swear. It works for me. I'm doing a little baking, and we don't need to freak out. Honestly, it's going to wear flawlessly, and I've got a really good eye cream underneath. A really expensive eye cream. Charlotte Tilbury. I went through that whole Bobbi Brown face base eye, which was kind of a reluctant use up, you know, like, let's just use it up. This isn't my favorite, but I want to use it. And now I'm on to the eye cream I love. Okay, so I do that, and then as I say, we're not truly baking or microwaving because I don't really leave this a long time. I don't quite super see the point. So I just go in with under eye bullet brush from Morphe, and we kind of take any excess and just let her fly. And then I just feel so good about that under eye area. Then I'm taking a little Revlon Color Stay Pressed powder, because this is the real like underused thing here. Light medium. This is a good powder. Really good drugstore option. And I'm just for like general use, you know, I'm lightly setting the whole face with this. Okay, love it. Don't need to go too far with that. Then the bronzer I pulled out is from Undone Beauty, and it's the warm up bronzer. I haven't used this in so long. We got strips, and we also have some glow down here, but I'm mainly pulling this out for the bronzer. And this is such a big compact. This is a brand that's sold at Ulta. I've done a video on several different products, but this was a good one. Really like this. I've got my 2 tones of bronzer there. Just kind of dab my brush into both. Can't you totally see how that could become an eyeshadow palette? Just going through those individual strips with your eye brushes. I love stuff that appears that way. Okay, we're just giving some dimension here around the hairline. The Halloween buckets are back at McDonald's. Anybody remember getting those as a kid? How long has it been? Like back in the 90s or something? Like I remember when I was a kid, I think they did that. They're super cute. My local one had the ghost bucket, so I took Bubba last night. After we dropped the girls off at cheerleading, it's like me and him time for dinner. And so I try to do something fun. And he's not shy about asking for a Happy Meal. And I'm like, oh yeah, they have those little buckets back again. And there's like no lid, but there's a faux lid. Something comes across the handle to make it appear that from certain angles there might be a lid on there, but there's not. But in the top they do give you some stickers. And then of course the meal. Why is it so much more fun when it comes in a bucket like that? And then the girls get home and see it and they're like, we need one of those too. I don't know if universally everybody's starting with a ghost right now or when it will switch, but I think there will be a pumpkin and a witch too. I never got myself an adult Happy Meal, but those seemed fun. And by the way, I've given more thought to the gal on TikTok who is the news anchor who rolls in late sometimes and documents her whole morning. And there are all kinds of people in the world, you know? I've honestly thought about this a lot. The fact that it takes all mentalities and all types to make the world go round. And I shouldn't look critically, not that I was feeling critical in my soul toward her, but like in explaining the way I am, it might seem like, well, I can't tolerate that kind of person. Just because like I can't be cool on the verge of lateness. Like it just doesn't work for me. I'm not my top functioning self like that, but some people truly slay, and it probably brings out some of their best when like things are just happening, you know, like there's no time to lose and we got to be quick. That's not my preferred state, but some people can be awesome in that state. Do you get what I'm saying? And frankly, what she's done is created something very compelling to watch that lots of people want to see and lots of people have seen. And in the midst of her rush, I mean, she has taken the time to shoot video of it and record it and somehow get that done on top of everything. She's doing something double there. I do think it's entertaining. I just find myself thinking, oh my gosh, I'd freak out like that. So I've got this on. I've got a little bit of a contour going right now. I don't know if my forehead looks right. Does it? Sometimes when you think you get a little dark with your bronzer, it makes you really like self-conscious. I'm a human being. Sometimes it won't look perfect. For a blush, I pulled out my LA Girl Soft Matte Cream Blush. These are so good. I need to be using them so much more. They're potent. They're beautiful shades. I pulled out the shade called Grace. It is kind of hard to tell from the tube what color you're actually getting, but I know that this is a beautiful color. So I've squeezed some out there. I kind of create a little more surface area out of it, and then take my Sephora 56. You can see I've definitely got some on there, and then just gently buff onto the skin. Oh, it's lovely. It's long wearing. It's pigmented. Really neat. I may need to put some more on. I think it dried to my hand fairly quick after that first application, so I need a little more on the other cheek. LA Girl should have put out a set of these for the holidays. That would have been a top recommendation from me. They're so good. Okay, so we're working this Dusty Rose thing on my cheeks. Working it and owning it. I want a little more to be taken just slightly higher. Now I just look like I got kind of a Dusty Rose rash. Bringing it up like right up in here. real high, like right in here. Rosy flush. And from the cold, the whole face is just kind of responding. Yes. And then for highlighter, I pulled out God's gift to drugstore highlighters, and it's Milani Strobe Light Afterglow highlighter. This is the mini size. It's so potent. I'm probably always going to be working off mini size. We're going to use our little Real Techniques setting brush here where we lost the butt end. It doesn't matter. Works the same. I mean, the glow. It's so pretty. I hadn't used that in a while, but man, like how many highlights do you need if you have this? Hit up here too. Sometimes, as somebody mentioned this in the comments section, like if the highlighter's showing up a lot in your makeup mirror or whatever, where you're getting ready, watch out because it's going to show up a ton in broad daylight, like in real life, looking in your rear view mirror. And sometimes that's the way I feel here. Like it might not show up as much on my camera because I'm in such full light. I'm so well lit here. And it's like you almost have to be in slightly dim light for the highlighter to pop even more. So if sometimes you feel like I didn't see that enough, like it's there. And then for whatever reason, hasn't this one gotten pulled into a drugstore shop my stash more than a few times? I don't know why it's my instinct to bring it in then, but my Milani Supercharged Revitalizing Face Mist in the ginseng and citrus. Whew, it's always refreshing. I don't know why I save it for these moments, but I do. It's like high C just coming at you. That's a lot of steps I just flew through. For my brows, I pulled out, I don't even remember this, Baby Got Brow from Essence Waterproof Eyebrow Pencil in the shade Brunette. Baby Got Brow. It reminds me so much of the shape of Wet n Wild Retractable. It's that teardrop shape, a little thicker shape of brow pencil. I think it's doing okay. Man, I haven't used this maybe but once. What in the world? Then you got your spoolie on the other end. You're just gonna bring it through. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that brow, I don't think. I love this shirt that I'm wearing, this $3 Walmart shirt with the nice big pocket. I love the color, and I also love, like, I just get satisfaction and enjoyment out of not spending a lot of money on my clothes. I don't know what it is. Like, I will buy a certain eyeshadow palette maybe without much thought, or like, you know, makeup wise, I just have a different perspective on it, I guess. But clothes, I really don't like spending much on clothes. And maybe in time, you know, my ideas will shift on that, but I get a kick out of it. It's not like I can't go buy something that I want, but I don't want it. I don't want the thing that cost this amount of money. And I think it's been ingrained in me since having little kids that kids mess up your clothes. And they do. They stretch out necklines. They do. I mean, much more so when you're going through a nursing phase. But like even now, like I get messy over the course of a day. The reason why my hands are dry as heck and my nails often aren't done and I'm wearing comfy clothes a lot. Like I'm getting down in the parent mode a lot of times. And I think maybe that's made me not want to put on something super duper valuable, you know? And then that's morphed into, heck, I like finding things that are cheap that I really love. It's the same kind of thrill you get out of finding a great drugstore makeup product that works amazing for you and you spent a fraction of the price as other things, you know? By the way, I mean, if you're trying to really save money on makeup, Walmart's selling it for less. You know, you're gonna spend less. You could buy the same handful of drugstore things at Ulta. I know Ulta has maybe a better array of brands and whatnot, but if you can find what you need at Walmart, they're charging less, okay? They just are. Diamond Mascara, this Physicians Formula, fun looking little gemstone deal. Just a clear lash and brow. Ew! Oh, the stopper. Have you ever done that where the stopper stays stuck to the wand? Let's try that again. Let's push harder. Oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. Like, no thank you. We are part of a trunk or treat event this weekend at the Girls Cheer Gym. There's a lot of different things going on at it, but I volunteered to do one of the trunks. We're doing a football theme, and it's kind of encompassed a lot of my life this week, thinking about how exactly we're going to pull this off, but I'm going to take lots of pictures. I think it's going to be awesome. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like a bunch of cars line up. Every car has its own sort of theme. The trunk or the back hatch of your vehicle is open and you like make a whole thing out of it, and then kids stop by for candy. I have trouble going halfway, so it's going to be big. For eye primer, Sorry, things are a little crooked. I shot my stash for something I haven't used in a while. It's my Profusion Pigment Base in Neutral. It's tough for me because I do feel like Milani eyeshadow primer is truly where it's at. Like, it's the best thing for my staying power, but I can use other things if need be. So I'm patting this pigment base, which as you can see is pigmented and a little tacky, all over that lid. So for my eye look, I want to do matte cool gray, okay? That's what I want to do. I'm using my Gone Matte palette from ColourPop, which I absolutely love this palette, but I haven't used it in a while. And they have this row right over here, cool grays. Something I love about this is the way they sorted it out. And if you want to stay in a certain color scheme, like, you just go down the line, baby. So I'm going to go over here to Overcast. This kind of, like, of all the grays, this one looks like it has maybe a tinge of brown in it, actually. And I'm going to start working that into my crease. If you love matte neutrals, I mean, this palette is not to be skipped, in my opinion. It's one of the big palettes that I think has a place being big. The gradient completely reveals that there's not really shade overlap happening in this. You know, every shade kind of has its place. I think with some of those, like, really mixed up palettes, you just have to stop and think very carefully. Are they repeating one certain shade throughout this palette? But here, like, I don't think they can get by with that so easily, just because of the way everything's displayed. I kind of wish I used Milani eyeshadow primer because this is going on above that base and some of it wants to cling. And the part that doesn't have a lot of base under it, which I didn't want to be stark, like white base all up to my eyebrow. Hi, Biscuits. Still here. Hi, honey. Same shade, I'm just kind of gradually working it up a little bit because this is going to be pretty much as light as it gets. And gray can be a little trickier, I think, to blend back into skin than like a peach or a light brown, but it can be done and it can be really pretty. Okay, so next I want to move to what's actually on the lid. I'll probably continue to deepen up the crease, but I want to get the lid going. I'm wiping off some shadow from this brush. It looks kind of like dark plum, so now I look like I've got a rash and a bruise on my hand. Next, we are going to this one right here, one called Down Like. I'm patting that on my outer lid, and we're going to work that up into the crease too. This is a really nice rich gray. I just don't work with these kinds of tones nearly enough. But I remember the Meet Matte palette from the Balm, I want to say the original one, like that had some really pretty cool tones like this. And anytime I used that, I was like, wow, I love this look. And it just kind of, time passed and I forgot about doing that again. Really nice here. Now we can bring in our crease brush. You know, we've got a little more darkness that's been applied, and I didn't put anything extra on this brush at this moment. But we can kind of work those two shades together just a little. Good, good. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the black with my small pointed brush. I know it's pigmented, so I don't need a lot. Directly into the deepest part of the crease, right here. Just darkening slightly. And this could be really pretty too, like this type of look, if you pulled in a little bit of the rose or the lavender to blend on the outer edge. That could look great, or a little brown on the outer edge. I still may do a touch of that, but primarily I'm wanting to keep it nice and cool and gray. It's really not a hard eye look or anything vastly different in terms of the pattern of application, you know, where we're putting products and how we're putting them on. Not super different from a lot of eye looks I've done. It's just coming off with a real different look because it's cool gray. Okay, I'm going to Comfy right here. So this was the shade we first put like on the outer lid, going up from that, a little lighter. And that's going to go right in here, center of the lid. These shades are just so pigmented and nice and smooth. Can't say enough about this palette. The gradient makes it so easy to merge and blend one shade into the next. You can bring this up a little bit if you got a nice small controlled brush that you're using. You know, you can let that rise up just a hair. And then I'm going to go to Love Bug up here. Look how that shade is so different from like our other light colors. It really does have, I think, some gray in it. And I want that. I want the lightness to also be part of this look. And so with a small brush, you're going to kind of pack that right here on the inner lid and let it just meet your darker shades. End result is going to be so smooth. I'm seeing if I want to add anything more in here. I think I'm going to do a little bit more of, oops, I think I just inadvertently bumped into that shade, Down Like. Add a little bit more of that into my crease. Really want to keep some contrast. I'm definitely going to be doing some smoking out on the lower lash line too. I'm just not quite there yet because I do have a liner smudge kind of plan. Where's Wispy White? I would like to take a little bit of one of the browns, like let's use the Cuddles right here, and kind of just let that come up here on the edge. There's just something about taking a brownie beige like that and what that does for bringing it back home. You know, it brings the look back into the skin. Oh, that's really working for me. Yes, I'm loving this. Cool gray eyes, guys, try it. No better palette than this one. Absolutely everything you need and more. This is a really kind of subtle effect, what we're doing here, but it's really handy to have a shade like that to make this gray pull out. I've got a pencil liner that I grabbed Tattoo Studio from Maybelline. I've been glued to my Persona liners, so I needed to go for something else. So I'm going to take this across my upper lash line and probably my lower inner rim as well, just because I want to get that smokiness going, y'all. She's pulling a little bit. It's not working for me, guys. Like, has it gotten too dry? Under other circumstances, I think it might go across, but like the powderiness of the matte shadow, like, what am I gonna do? Need something drugstore that's really gonna just lay down. Revlon So Fierce vinyl. Yeah, I need something like that where I can just barely kind of tap the skin and it'll transfer. That's what I'm talking about. And it seems like it's setting as well, which is nice. So I'm going for kind of like nice and defined here on the upper lash line, and then this will become a little more, I think, smoky looking on the lower lash line. Those Persona eyeliners, though, you talk about no work required of you to get that on, and then it lasts just incredibly well. I mean, I smell an Emily Award, because the difference going to this other stuff. I mean, this Revlon was better than what I was just using, even though, I mean, maybe it's just age on that Maybelline, but that used to be good. And this is a little better, but you can't touch the Persona. So now I'm going to take this to my lower inner rim and also on the actual skin too, in between the lashes. And then we'll come in and smudge it and work in a little shadow too to soften it. Old smudge and soften. I also feel like I didn't get in there quite tight enough on the upper lash line. So here's another trick. Take an angled liner brush. Go into your deepest, darkest shade that's as close to your black eyeliner as possible. And just, you know, go over the line. And that will definitely reach little spots that, you know, you didn't get close enough on. And then taking that same black and I'm working it right in here. Just applying it. We'll get to the softening. Mainly getting that on the outer part. Just using the liner brush, just any small brush. If you got a little smudge brush, that's fine. Then we're going to use, did the brush just leap off the face of the earth? Or, okay, I'm going to go to this one, the second darkest gray with small pointed. This eye look may seem a little tedious, but I promise, like, it's worth it. And it wouldn't have to involve all these extra steps. Like, you could do a beautiful little gray eye, stop where I stopped with the shadow, and then pop on some mascara, and it would just be lovely. I'm just trying to give you the full extent here. Smudging with the second darkest. See that? Most of the product is going on the outer part of the eye, but we are letting some come inward. I'm gonna use some mascara now. Today it's gonna be Double Trouble from Essence. I love this mascara. It's like 2 brushes in one, but I just haven't used it in a bit. So we're gonna curl those lashes and get that going. And I'm thinking, you know, soft lip with this. I didn't pull one out yet. I forgot about that. How could you forget about the lip? Part of it is like a thick natural bristle brush. Part of it is rubbery bristles. And I feel like it holds curl well too. Is anyone's everyday look a cool gray? I'd love to know. When I see this look, I look at my eyes, I feel like, and maybe it's not showing on camera so much, but my eyes in person look way more brown with these grays and blacks all around. Color of my eyes just got like exaggerated somehow. Sorry, but I'm violating the drugstore rule for Cali Ray come hell or high water on my lower lashes. I really think you want to have the lashes really working on a look like this. It makes the liner part look less stark when you got a little fringe, I think. And I think a false lash would be beautiful with this look too, but I just wore some yesterday and I'm trying not to overdo that just for the sake of my skin. I'm really enjoying this. I'm loving the cooler eye. I've got like a nude lip combo I'm going to pull in. It's not any nude lip combo I've done before, but I think it's going to look pretty with this. This is my lipstick from Revlon color, I'm about to say Color Stay, Super Lustrous Lipstick in Smoky Rose. So I'm going to put that on first. Like a deep, kind of like brownish nude, and it's got a little bit of a satin finish, or I think it's described as pearl. But it's not like super metallic or anything. Okay, got that on. Gonna neaten it up slightly with something that's definitely not like underused. It's my Revlon Color Stay Lip Liner in Nude, and just need that for neatening purposes. Okay, liking it even better. And then I'm gonna throw on some NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brulee. This used to be like an iconic nude gloss pick for people. I'm gonna add a little bit here because I know it's gonna have some sheerness, but it's gonna kind of nude up the look just a little more. I think it's gonna lighten everything. Look at that. I like that. I do really feel like I need a little more blush on the face and to reinforce that curl too. Oh, see, with the lashes done, I love it. Like, I just want to throw on a little blush. I don't want to go through the cream blush, so let's just pull out another drugstore little helper. I pulled out Maybelline Fit Me in Nude. Okay, haven't used this in a while. Satin finish, really pretty blush. Love. These Fit Me blushes are really good, by the way. The one in Wine, I always called that Snow White's blush. It's like so perfect. So this is my look, a drugstore shop my stash. What were the highlights? I mean, I think that ColourPop palette just did incredible. I really like this soft gray smoky eye. I thought Color Stay foundation did really well for us. And frankly, I'm really liking this lip too. You know, I love a nude lip that's just a shade down, a little deeper than just your lightest nude. And I think that's such a nice pairing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I really had a good time today doing this look. I've got a cat just absolutely using my pink chair as a climbing wall. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.